People are tired and people are fed up. And the more that this shutdown drags on, it becomes obvious who's holding it up. Chuck Schumer. I don't care how many press conferences he does or how many polished lines he recites into a camera. The reality is simple. He is refusing to compromise and it's crumbling our country. Let's break it down. Welcome back, and if you're new, this is going to be a good one, so make sure you like, comment, and consider subscribing for daily news updates. It means the world to me, and don't forget to share. The American people are facing real consequences now. We already have federal employees missing paychecks. We've got TSA officers calling in because they can't afford gas to get to work. Air traffic controllers are stretched thin, and major companies like United Airlines and Delta are even calling out the Democrats. But here's where it gets even more serious. Food stamps could be cut this weekend, and all possible SNAP benefits. The program that helps millions of low-income families put groceries on the table. And with the shutdown being dragged out, those benefits are either going to be delayed, reduced, or temporarily halted for many households. That means parents standing in grocery aisles putting items back because they can't afford them. Kids missing meals. Stressed out families who are already living on the edge being pushed further towards the cliff. And who's holding up the process that could fix this? Chuck Schumer. Let's start with this extremely shocking clip of New Jersey Rep. Josh Gottheimer, who's a Democrat, telling Schumer to reopen the government. Watch this.
It doesn't solve the health insurance problem, the premium problem. I think what's a very fair deal and is open the government and let's just vote on extending these premiums for a year or more. Well, I don't understand what's so hard about that. And by the way, Senator Thune has offered that, I believe. He said we'll have he offered up a vote that we can actually have a vote on extending these premiums. I think when put to it, you're going to see Democrat and Republicans, senators and congressmen and women want to vote for that. Why would you not want to vote to extend help with these tax credits, get premiums down for people? People are getting hurt right now in their pocketbooks. Yep. They're really need help. So why not give them some help?
Clip. Right, Gottheimer says it straight. We just need to reopen the government back up, and then we can worry about everything else. Sign the bill to get that fixed first, because people in our country are really hurting. He wants them to vote to open the government and sign the bill so that we can get the extensions to lower the premiums. That will help everyone. So you can see that a lot of people are focused on this clean CR bill. Another point that sticks out is that he is a Democratic member. If he's doing that and calling out Chuck Schumer, that should let Chuck know that he's clearly doing something wrong. His own people are starting to realize what's going on is not right, and they're not going to be on his side any much longer. And another part that stuck out to me is that you can't say the Republicans aren't open to it. John Thune, the senator, he says he's open for a vote. He wants it to happen. So the Republicans aren't being difficult for this task. They just need the Democrats to also get on board. And you're seeing a lot of the Democrats actually are on board. But Chuck, he's the one that's not budging. I want to look at Republican Representative John Kennedy call out Schumer. Take a look at this.
We're not asking our Democratic colleagues to sell a kidney. All we're saying is we don't want anything. We just want to open up government so we can negotiate a budget. And Senator Schumer has said, well, I'll only open it up if you give us $1.5 trillion and gut the one big beautiful bill like a fish. Well, Stuart, I'm not Bambi's baby brother. I'm not going to vote for that. I don't know any Republicans going to vote for that.
Okay.
So the Democrats have a decision to make. We're going to just stay shut down. I hate to see it. People are being hurt. But look, I voted yes to open it up 13 times. All of us have. I can't make Senator Schumer and my Democratic friends, I can't make them do it. They're looking foolish. I mean, I'm sure Jesus loves them, but to the American people, they're looking like idiots, in my opinion.
In that clip of him, you can even just read his energy. He is not for any of the games, and he wants it to end. He said that they are not asking their Democratic colleagues to sell a kidney. The only thing they're asking is to reopen the government. He shared that he has voted for yes 13 times now to get the bill passed. But Schumer, he keeps shutting it down. He's not budging unless they give him $1.5 trillion and gut the one big beautiful bill. And as we all know, President Trump is not going to cave. So the answer is that the government will remain shut down. In the way Kennedy explained it, personally for me, they're not asking for a lot. The Republicans are asking for something very simple. The Democrats just want to drag it on and make everything worse. They don't care that there are thousands of millions of people who are still struggling. And they wouldn't be struggling if the government reopened and they did everything else afterwards. Another thought that I had is the fact that it is completely insane to vote 13 times on something and not have any progress whatsoever. They keep voting and no change is happening. How many times do we have to do this again before the Democrats realize that their behavior, Chuck Schumer especially, is childish? They need to mature up for the people they say they stand for. Something else to point out is why is $1.5 trillion so important right now? Why is it so important that you would rather keep the government shut down for money that you want to use for programs that don't help benefit Americans? They help benefit people who are not in America, foreigners, and also to contribute to programs that don't make a lot of sense for the lives that our minors and people should have. Now, I want to look at United Airlines CEO going off on Schumer because he's refusing to pay the air traffic controllers.
Air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management, they're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks, this had no impact on the economy. But as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy. And we start to see still minor, but steep booking impact. And you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days. And while I don't have a position on which partisan side and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR, use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors without the pressure and without putting the American workers and the American economy at risk.
In that clip, it lets the American people know that this is really affecting our economy and our community. The CEO is saying that Chuck Schumer, he's refusing to pay these air traffic controllers. These people that are keeping our air and our sky safe, they're working for free. TSA officers are not showing up to work. We're dealing with so many delays, as well as the bookings for these airlines, they're impacted. People are not booking as often because they can't afford it, and the time that's consuming is terrible. They have no workers to clear people to even take flights. All he asks for is that we have a clean CR bill, and after that, then you can open up the doors to having the negotiations about the sensitive topics that Americans want focused on. And yes, while the CEO said that he's not coming from a political side, you can still clearly see exactly who he's talking to. He wants to get the bill passed, and it's stopped right now. So the answer is, he's talking directly to Schumer and the Democrats. Lastly, I want to look at Speaker Mike Johnson once again go to the stand and call out Schumer.
Chuck Schumer voted for the clean CR, the same measure that's on the floor now. He did the right thing, and he went on the floor of the Senate, and he gave an impassioned speech of why we could never inflict all this pain on the American people. He meant it from his heart, and he was consistent in what he had done over his 44 years in Congress, always voting to fund the government. But when he did the right thing in March, he received an onslaught of criticism from the far left base and the Democrat Party. He almost lost his job. Many of you wrote about it. He was in jeopardy of not winning his next reelection. That's how serious it was. So Chuck Schumer got a bunch of consultants and staff in a back room, and they concocted a plan, a political stunt. And they determined right then that the next time there was a funding measure, no matter how meritorious and no matter how much it would cause pain to the American people, that he would vote against it. He would show a fight to President Trump so he could save his political skin. It's exactly what happened. He did this so he could prove to his base that he's showing a fight. And as a result of this charade, He has brought the Democrats to their lowest point in decades. Literally, the Democratic Party has its lowest approval rating. Democrats in Congress have their lowest approval rating ever in the history of...
Every time he speaks on Schumer, it feels like he makes another valid point. He told us that in March, Schumer voted for the bill to pass. He was ready to do it. And then he gave a powerful speech for it, acknowledging in his own words that this shutdown would severely hurt the American people. And he was right in saying that. But what is he doing now? He's going against the exact words he said, all because of the radical far left that are controlling him. From seeing him do that, you can't even trust his word anymore. He's doing this for the benefit of others that are probably putting money in his pockets. And because of Schumer's actions, the Democrats' polling has been the worst ever in history. You hear that? History. I mean, it has never happened before. All because the radical left have got their claws into Schumer, and he's allowing it to stay there. He knows he's hurting everyone, and he doesn't care. So what does that say about what type of politician that he really is? Someone that can be cornered in from others and fall to what they say? Or someone who's going to rise up and do what's right because he knows it's right? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on KW Lawaholic.